All right, hey guys. So this video is to address forward head posture, okay? Where the head goes, the body goes, okay? Very important that we understand that if I had a forward head positioning, it's gonna affect from my head, my neck, my shoulders, my jaw, my knees, my feet. But what first I wanna address though is what it does to the neck, what it does to the upper trap, and what it does to the shoulder, okay? A lot of times people come in with these problems and symptomatically they're, in pain and they've gotten a lot of different types of treatments, but I have not been assessed with their positioning of their head, okay? And here are a few things that you can do. Maybe test yourself out first. So what I like to check is the front neck muscle here. It's called the SCM, sternocleidomastoid. If you can, where it connects to is the middle portion of your collarbone. And what it does, it pulls your head down. So if I'm looking down, that's what it does, okay? It also helps with turning my neck a little bit. But if I can grab this muscle and squeeze on it, kind of firmly, without pain, then I know that I'm not gonna have a lot of forward head position issues. Another thing is that if you just take a picture of yourself from the side, and if you have one of those good old humps at the base of your head, that means that that neck, that spine, it's called C7 and T1, that joint is too open, okay? And the muscles in the back are working really hard to keep that up. Okay, so if you just by visual, you see your head like this, or if you don't have a visual, you just check your neck. Am I sensitive in the front of my neck? If that's true, then you can massage that out and it will already put you in steps on your way to getting rid of having your head stuck in a very forward position, okay? So another thing that you can do for the head positioning is just look up. The more you look up, the more you're gonna start to close that spine. Or just push your head backward when you're driving, or raise your phone to your face instead of bringing your head to your phone. These are things that habitually over time create muscle development that are changing how your body's gonna structure and react to the rest of your body. The other thing that I mentioned in the beginning was how it affects the traps. So we've already talked about how the neck is affected by the center portion of the collarbone, but it also affects the outer portion of the collarbone. And the muscle up here, right there, it connects to the front portion of your collarbone. So it goes around at the back of your neck, and it goes around and it connects right to the front here. So whenever I raise my head or bring my head forward, that trap, you can see it, rises. It goes right forward. And that's gonna create a lot of tension up top. So if we never address that forward head positioning while addressing a symptom that someone might come in for, maybe they have no neck pain, but they might have some upper trap pain that they can't get rid of. They've gone to so many people and they're not getting that relief. This here is something that I'm gonna work on last. What I wanna do is start to work on the head positioning going backward so I can help this alleviate some pressure. The third piece of it is the shoulder, right? The one that has neck problems, upper trap problem, now the shoulder problem. But all these three affect each other. It's very common that you'll find that these problems are together. So if I have releasing underneath my armpit, that will help my shoulder blade that's connected to my collarbone on the outside, which connects to my neck, which connects to the upper trap. So all these pieces are affecting each other. So this is a elastic band. This is what I want to use, or what I give to clients to use for posterior neck strength, okay? It's very light band. I don't want anything very too heavy. So what I do is I bring it right behind my head here, and I grab it to the point where it's almost at the edge of the band. Then I'm going to press my head back. I'm also going to tuck my hips underneath me so that I can have a good positioning of my spine. Then I just keep my head backward. Then I start to rotate my head left and right. My arms are pretty relaxed. I'm not struggling with this. I'm not going to give myself too much tension against this band here because I want to be nice to myself. I'm also going to keep my shoulders not high. I want to squeeze my armpits down, keeping my shoulders away from my ears. And this is a very easy thing to do and also strengthens my neck pretty well. You don't have to do it too much. If there's any areas that start to bother you, maybe you have some trap issues, bring it down and then we start to release that as well. So this is a stick here, you can see. What I'm going to use this for is the trap release. Now I went through that neck thing and I found that I personally have some upper trap issues. So what I want to do is just create some tension against a flat, long pole, okay? You can do this with a weight bar or whatever, but it's more convenient for me to use a stick, a long one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one end here on the side that the trap is bothering me. The other hand is going to come across, and I'm going to put pressure down and pressure up. As I'm doing that, I'm able to get some pressure into that piece that I have issue with. Now, I can move it around. All I'm trying to do is just get a pressure down onto my trap that I have issue with, okay? It's a very simple way to do things. If you want some more pressure, of course, there's other methods to do that. When you stand underneath a weight bar and you would stand up against a weighted bar. That's also an option too. So again, we're going to use the stick for some release, but I'm going to release the outside pec and the outer side of my back here with the stick. This is to help release the shoulder so that it can go up and we can get the collarbone to come up to help the head come back and we can get rid of that pesky forward head positioning. Okay, so first I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stick on a surface that's not going to glide. You know, I got the band there because this floor is pretty slippery. And what I want to do is take the opposite hand from the side that I'm going to be releasing and just guide it to a point where I feel tension on the outside of my pec. Once I have that down there, I'm going to just raise my arm, finding spots that are a little uncomfortable, a little tight, but nothing too crazy for me. I don't really have a shoulder impingement, but people that do have shoulder impingements will feel a little bit more discomfort here. So take your time with this. It doesn't require a lot of tension, but finding areas that are tender or too tight. So I find one that's really tight. I'm rising my arm, and I like to bring my arm a little bit more of at a Y angle because that helps my lower trap on my back work for me and help me. I don't want to shrug my arm too much. There. Now when I go to the outside of my shoulder, I bring the stick to the center of my armpit. I don't put a lot of pressure there. Then I push the stick outside just to get it on that meaty piece there. Then I rotate and I raise my arm. And I use the other hand to guide it. I'm pushing into that area. I can bring it closer to the arm junction, little by little. Be careful, do not put this into the center of where your armpit is because you will stab yourself into your ribs and hurt yourself and some nerves, and that's not very fun. So be careful, be cautious of where things are. Okay, it's very important plus I'm also standing, so I'm very much in control of how much weight and pressure I am putting onto myself. Okay, once that's done, I have released my neck, I've released my trap, I've released my shoulder, arms coming up, my head should be much more available to come back. So now that we've covered everything that's going to get in the way of the collarbone so that it affects the neck, the last piece that a lot of people miss is the jaw junction, the jaw hinge. Okay, so this area is very sensitive to the jaw. A lot of people get TMJ issues when they have forward head problems because their jaw is being smashed and not into the head and not able to glide forward and allowing that hinge to work properly and healthy. So what I have people do is they put their thumbs right in this little nodule between the jawline and the nodule of the ear, right there, both sides, and they just start to open the mouth, yawning, while the thumbs are going in this downward position. Also important to bring your head back in that proper head position, keep my hips underneath me, just like when I was using the band here. All the way down. And you can do that one side at a time, two sides at a time. You can do it while you're driving. It's just a very good, useful practice to have, because if you don't have a relaxed face, all the muscles start to clench up and then start to affect down the neck. And it can even create headaches and back of the neck problems too. So those are my suggestions on how to get rid of or start to support yourself on the journey of getting rid of your forward head positioning, because those things will affect, again, the kinetic chain, not only shoulder problems, back problems, will create knee problems, even plantar fasciitis problems.